Join JJ and Alex at the RV Show Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. This is your opportunity to shop, compare, and buy the RV of your dreams. PK, you have questions, musings. There's a criticism of the Utah Jazz is bouncing around out there that doesn't make sense to you.
It don't. And I've had it.
Okay, talk to me, Goose.
I'm done with it. You know,
well, you are in 30 games, but okay.
No, I'm done with the abuse. I'm done with it right now. Today. I was done with it yesterday, last week. So we saw what they've done here in the last two games once they got JJJ, is that they've played those guys and then sit them in the fourth quarter, go with the kiddies, and away you go. And we saw that they were able to win against Miami, and then up the road 2 nights earlier, they did the same thing, and Orlando came back and won, right? And so after that Orlando game, I'm looking at social media. I'm writing about this. It'll be posted later today, KSL.com. Legion Hoops, which has 691,000 followers on X. That's pretty big, right? Just goes in, and I don't know who Legion Hoops is, but I'm just quoting it, who the person behind it is, that it was the benching and of not just the forwards, but also Nurkic, and they lost the game. And the quote was, an absolute joke. All right? Fine. Then you go down, another one that has a lot of following. Commissioner Adam Silver needs to do something, man. This is ridiculous. This has never happened in early February for this many teams. Another one. What makes it so absurd is the lottery odds don't truly reward this bleep. Feces. It's morally indefensible and intellectually faulty. Another one. The Jazz not only benched their starters to blow a commanding lead in the fourth quarter, they blatantly threw the game in the closing seconds as well, meaning that Hardy didn't call a timeout, and it looked like Isaiah Collier was just dribbling around with no point. And it goes on and on. And my response is, yes, so what? We didn't create the system, and you saw San Antonio do it. You saw OKC do it. What the crap? What is it? Is this an F the Mormons thing? Well, let's just rip those people who live way out there in the middle of nowhere, because who gives a crap about them? So we're going to blast the Jazz for doing what others have been doing for years? Is it just Utah? Yeah, let's dump on the state of Utah and its people. Why, all of a sudden, am I reading all sorts of posts? I'm glad I'm reading that than the political BS. That drives me nuts. I'd rather read this because I can get fired up over this. The other stuff I can't. And I don't get, they're doing it. We get it. But what do you expect them to do? Change the freaking rules. Then if you don't like it. If you got a problem with it, then boycott the NBA. Don't rip on the Jazz when others have done it and succeeded. Literally won titles.
I get all those points, and it's hard to argue with all of this. I mean, there are definitely states in the union that people just automatically dump on. Utah, West Virginia, Alabama, and
Jersey.
Mississippi. No, not so much.
Yeah, because they know we'll crack you.
Possibly. That could be it. That might actually be it. West Virginia's not going to punch back, but Jersey is. We'll leave them alone. This has been going on for years. I think it lands differently when you're the team in the spotlight. It maybe didn't feel as harsh, and maybe it just wasn't as harsh. And the Spurs and the Thunder are great examples. I think the reason the Jazz now, not some of these other teams are literally just viewed as pathetic. Charlotte was for years, but people didn't really want to rip on Jordan. Washington has been poorly run for years. You can't really dump on the Pelicans because they're not going to benefit from this horrible basketball they're playing. You know, it probably doesn't help to have the Ainge name here because this isn't how his first 2 rebuilds went. It's not Danny's first rodeo. The fact it's gone on for 4 years, but some of it may just be, it's easy to pick on them. This franchise does have a better rep going back a generation, certainly, but even a half generation, and these other teams don't. But, I think the point about the Spurs and the Thunder is, it's well taken. They did it, and it worked. So why wouldn't the Jazz do it? Now, that doesn't mean it isn't distasteful when you turn on the game. Even if you're a Jazz fan and you live here, I get it. They've been messing with this, trying to figure out what to do, because it's kind of just the nature of the sport. One player can play 80% of the minutes and can probably have the ball in their hand, almost half the game. And so if you can get that player, it's totally worth it to go through this and then have a decade of greatness or more.
It's blatantly and wantonly unfair. And I hate unfairness. If there's anything I'm about, it's fair.
No, you think there is no fair.
And this isn't fair.
There is no fair. You people quit using that word.
There's fair, foul, and this is foul.
It is the first day of spring training. Pitchers and catchers report.
Right. I'll be loosening up the hose later today.
Get that long toss in. Let's go.
Here ends the segment, people. I mean, we'll keep talking. But
you brought it up.
I did. Sort of.
This is foul. And they could actually be doing it a lot worse.
How much worse could it be?
Don't play Markkanen and Jackson.
Yeah.
Don't play Nurkic.
Well, we might be coming to that. I mean, Markkanen
Right.
only played
they're
47.
Not. If you bought a ticket to the Miami or Orlando game, you saw those two guys play in the 20s, play more than half the game,
Yep.
and play well.
Yep. True story.
That's not better than sitting out? Load management?
Well,
they could just give the middle finger to the league and fine me. They got fined what? What did they get fined last year?
Pocket change
Right.
to any NBA owner.
So unless you
Any.
take away the draft pick, who cares what the fine is?
Yeah, the commissioner's not taking away the draft pick.
Right.
The owners hire the commissioner. We'll discipline you to a point.
Well, that's the only penalty that has any legs, any power,
Yeah.
is no,
Now,
you won't.
We've seen why owners really get disciplined. We've seen a couple pro sports owners get their teams taken away in the last decade. And there's been lots of stuff.
All you have to do,
that.
but that's because you're costing them money.
There it is.
That's
Boom.
it. That the
that
NBA
is the target.
and their social justice is a bunch of crap.
One
They're
NBA
doing it because they think it costs them money.
One NBA
because
owner-
there's a country
Yep.
over there that does it, and they had nothing to say about it.
One NBA owner and one NFL owner.
Yeah.
And the NBA owner embarrassed them for a long time and then tripled down on the embarrassment, and they made him go. And the other guy
Right.
literally had a fake set of books in Washington and was stealing money from the other NFL owners, and they were not going to
I
tolerate
didn't
that.
think you were going to say books. I thought it was going to be something else.
I mean,
A fake set of books.
there were fraud allegations in there, and shortly after that, he lost his club.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody said injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, but yet they got nothing to say over here. So shut up. It goes in one ear and one out the other. It's about cash. You're a poor for-profit league, and you're all making millions.
Quite profitable.
Yes.
It really is.
So if you don't want it, then take away draft picks. But they're not going to do that. So fine them. Fine them all you want. If I'm the Jazz by winning last night,
Yep.
then that's
Well,
bad news.
We'll see as they come home, and the rules are different home and road as far as player availability. Let's see how many people are out the next two games.
Well, sit
See
them.
where it goes.
Sit them.
I think Keontae George should be out. He's rolled that ankle twice, so he's out. Now beyond
his
that,
very life is at stake. He can't afford to suit up.
that's a massive overstatement. But nonetheless, I think he really sprained his
You
ankle.
get the point.
And he should sit the next two games. Now beyond that,
I think he should
let's
sit the
see.
next 2 months.
I will not be surprised if there are other players who sit these two home games.
They have to. I don't even know who they play. They have to. This is too valuable. And then they have a good thing.
They're winnable games. I mean, you got to be careful. Sacramento, winnable.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Sacramento's
winnable.
terrible.
They're a better team than Sacramento with their guys.
And then they got Portland.
Portland's decent. Portland's building something. I'll give them that.
Yep.
And so I'd sit them both. There's no point in winning. And let the critics howl away.
Well, that's largely what's been happening. And I expect that's largely what will keep happening here.
I disagree, man. They played Markkanen, Jackson, and Nurkic playing 20-plus minutes. If you're playing half the game, you can have a major impact on the game. So who's to say if they sat both those guys And in Nurkic, I mean, I don't want to build up Nurkic like he's all that, but
nonetheless,
on this team, he has a higher profile because they don't have anybody else. But the other two, no. If they sat them, sit them after the first quarter, then because Miami could have maybe built a lead.
Yep. Some of these teams, like Sacramento, I mean, Sacramento's going to finish with a worse record than the Jazz. But the Jazz are only 2 wins behind Dallas, and then they're only 2 wins in front of Brooklyn and New Orleans.
Right, you're not competing with Sacramento.
And it was at least a couple of, right, exactly. It was a couple months ago that I was told, you watch, the Jazz are going to have one of the 5 worst records and almost certainly the 5th worst record in the NBA.
Well, they need to.
I know. And that was because the theory was that they couldn't get to one of the 4 worst records because they have too much talent. Some of these other teams are just too messed up. They're just completely messed up. But the Jazz would work hard to get to 5 because at that point they've protected the pick. Even at 6, there's still like a 3% chance the ping pong balls could go wrong and they could end up, sliding. A bunch of teams could jump up with terrible odds and they might end up having a hand over the 9th pick, even though they have the 6th worst record.
Right.
So we'll see if they can hold off Dallas, as it were, in this upside down world, and then catch either New Orleans.
Well,
or
what does
Brooklyn.
Dallas have? That worries me. I mean, they got Flag, but they set Thompson was it last night?
Yeah. And I'm sure in Dallas because everybody's tanking. That's part of the outrage is. When you get 6, 7, 8 teams trying not to win, then there's so many games you turn on. You're like, well, this isn't real.
Then turn it off.
Real. Some people do, but other people love it and complain about it.
Well, and we just had a caller, Mike, called in, wanted me to pass along. If you guys will recall, Golden State at one point owed a pick to the Utah Jazz.
And they
we
sat their
remember.
guys.
Yeah.
And Harrison Barnes.
We were doing the show then.
Yeah,
it was
Harrison Barnes.
We had a discussion
It
about
was
David
30 years
Lee.
ago. We were doing the show.
It wasn't 30
It was
years
like
ago.
maybe, how long has Harrison been in the league? 10?
At least 10.
But but that point is they sat their guys to protect that pick and keep it from the
Sit
Jazz.
and more
sat
sit and
multiple
find
guys.
me all you want.
Yeah.
Come out here and find me in person. I'll fly you out. Who cares?
We had a whole thing one morning after they'd already sat a couple guys about sitting David Lee. And I said they would.
David Lee.
And P's case, he's not that good. And I'm like, he's good enough,
good enough
and
to
they
help
are
them win.
determined.
Yeah.
Determined.
Yeah.
Now, he married a tennis player, didn't he? Was it Wozniak? Go look that up, people. You two are addicted to looking up crap. Random crap. He's looking it up right now.
Do it, Yak.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, find out what draft that was.
Caroline Wozniak. Yeah, there you go.
Nice. All right, what draft
Yeah.
was it? Pick a year, PK. So you
I'll
didn't get it.
go 20. I want to say 14, but I'm thinking maybe 13 or 12.
Oh,
No,
I
I'm
was
gonna
going to say 11.
that early.
I don't know. That's
Okay,
why he's
Lee's
got to
been
look
out
it
for
up.
a while. Yeah. Okay.
He was in the 2012 draft.
Oh, we were all around it and we missed it.
First round, 7th overall pick, and that could have been the Utah Jazz right there.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, absolutely. They got to do it. They have to. And I wouldn't mind if one of them came out and said, "Hey, bleep you all. This is what we're going to do."
Yeah.
I dare you to do something about it. Be obstinate. Face your critics and then double down. I don't care if it's the most worst thing ever. I love doubling down.
Double on down.
Yeah. Doubling down is one of my favorite activities.
All right. Well, we'll check the injury reports as they start coming out. I think you get 24 hours away from the game. You get the first one, but then it's the ones a day
Well,
game
man,
that
they
really
just
matter.
came off a 5-game road trip. Marketing his guest. He loves the outdoors. He's probably going to go hiking today. How's he expected to play tomorrow?
They're going to. Okay, you can't dump on people who like Utah and dump on people who hate Utah. What's
I'm not
left?
dumping on him.
It kind of sounds like
That
it.
no, I want him to sit. Actually, no. Actually, I'm paying the highest respect.
Okay.
You didn't hear me say sit Severino Malahouk, did I?
No, and that's
Right.
why I think there's a legitimate conversation about whether Sensabaugh and Bailey and Collier, one or two of those guys need to sit. I mean, maybe they
Well, you got to play
enough there.
somebody. I mean, I
Svi
love
got a
Oscar
DNP.
Deshiway as much as the next guy.
And he could play. He's on the roster. Play him. And Svi, if you're serious about tanking, play those guys. Because these other guys, they were young, but now they got 2 or 3 years under their belt, 2.5, whatever, and they're playing better. I mean, Ace Bailey's got half a year under his belt, but they're playing better. They're making plays in the fourth quarter. Well, you can't have guys making plays in the fourth quarter. So get them out of there. We joked about this
But
a
who
month
you
ago.
gonna play?
It's the highest compliment. Svi, Schwebe, whoever else. They got a guy in a two-way contract. I don't even know who it is right now. I'm too riled up. I'll look it up in the break.
Is Micah Potter still alive?
Get Potter.
I loved Micah Potter.
Get Potter out there.
I want to see. Hey, you played
Potter.
Collier, 48. I want to see that new tatted up dude, Contra or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I want to see him go 48.
Okay.
He's a
Let's
bad
go.
you-know-what, man.
Play Harkless. Elijah Harkless suited up last night. Play him. You got a DMP coach's decision.
Oh, that would be so
Hey.
heartless.
Ace Bailey, we were joking about it a month ago. The best compliment is if you can raise your
Right.
your game
And so
to the
how am I
point
ripping
that
marketing?
Ainge is because,
I'm not.
because his millions of dollars in 47 games. I mean,
Yeah, that was last year. I'm paying him the highest compliment.
Okay.
I don't want him to play.
Yep.
I want him to go to the outdoors today. I'll go pick him up. Lowry, what are you doing? Let's go. Let's explore the outdoors. Let's go buffalo hunting.
PK and Lowry marketing, walking around Antelope
Right.
Island with guns.
Oh, no. These babies, man. I got 10 of them.
Oh, you're gonna hunt buffalo with your bare hands.
How do you think I always hunted?
I got to get a camera. I got to get out there. I don't think you did at all. I think you went to the grocery store.
I thought about
hunted
saying
for a
something,
steak.
but it would have got me in trouble, so I backed off.
Good call.
I'll say it in the break if you two want.
Yeah, absolutely. Please. You know, I once had a boss who said that. He says, I know there's some things you can't say on the air, you can't report, but I want to know whatever they are.
JB's got a good sense of humor. He would like it.
I can't imagine you with a gun big enough to kill a buffalo. That's the.
You think one of the tiny guns from Men in Black, one of those, PK? John is here from J. Brooks Jewelers. Valentine's Day is Saturday. And if you go to J. Brooks Jewelers, not only do they have jewelry, but they have flowers and chocolate. So why run 3 errands when you can run one and go home and make that special somebody happy?
That's our job, is to make her happy or him, and to make your life easy, to make you be the hero. So to make that work that way, we just have come up with that for years. So any purchase, we have chocolate for you, and of course we have a dozen roses, and we gift wrap to make you look good. So when you finish, it's all complete. Jay Brooks is a locally owned family business. Myself and my daughters and wife and daughter-in-law, we've done come together to build a company that's really set on the customer. I think everybody in their life has professionals in their life. They have if you will, a doctor. They have a dentist. Some people have attorneys. Everybody has a CPA to do the taxes, this kind of thing. At Jay Brooks, we want to be that professional jeweler for you in your life. And so we spend a lot of time and energy making sure that we're prepared to deliver always a professional product. And part of that is just to make your life easy and to know that we're going to take care of it. Our free lifetime warranty takes care of things for you that are defects in workmanship, so you don't have to ever worry if something's not right. We're just going to make it right. And of course, the ladies who pick and choose, they know exactly what women want. And so that when you come in, you'll be surprised at the wide selection and number of options that'll make your sweetheart happy. So whatever you're doing for Valentine's, which again, men, it is Saturday. You have 5 days until the day. We want to have something beautiful for you. So if you'll come in, we'll do our part. We'll make your life easy. Things in every kind of budget, every kind of look. And again, when we finish, wonderful selection of Mrs. Kavanaugh's mint truffles, a dozen roses, gift wrapping, and make your wife or sweetheart, girlfriend just as happy as can be. So don't mess up. And you can come see us easy at jbrooksjewelers.com. It's an easy way to take a look at us. And we have stores in Murray and Lehigh right off the freeway, so easy access on and off. And to just make it an easy process. Because at the end of the day, if we don't make our sweetheart the most important thing, and Valentine's Day is one of those days where we say, you are the most important thing in my life to you, and we have something to make that look right.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m., right?
That's for every day, right. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. And again, just you'll find the environment very easy to get into and very easy to enjoy the shopping process.
You can start shopping right now, even though they're not open for another hour and a half. Go to jbrooksjewelers.com. jbrooksjewelers.com. DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Wins a pair of tickets to watch the Utah Jazz and the Portland Trail Blazers Thursday night at the Delta Center. DJ PK, and it's time to welcome Ken Pomeroy back to the show. Ken Pomeroy from KenPom.com. Ken, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. It's a special time of year. Special day, by the way. We're just pre-gaming here at the Pomeroy household for the mixed doubles curling gold medal game. 90 minutes away, USA versus Sweden.
Sweet. You got the chips, you got the dip, you got the wings warming up in the oven?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Full on tailgate.
Man, Doug Gottlieb was right about you.
What is that? Where does that come from?
Comes from Doug Gottlieb. PK is just the vessel. He's just the messenger.
He said, yep, didn't you see it? He said you were, full of something.
I know what he said.
I know you know. I know you know what he said.
Have you ever had a personal interaction with him, or is this just he looked at your numbers, he didn't like them, and you're stat guy, analytics guy, so he went off because he's frustrated?
Yeah, I'm not even. Well, so anyway, I was on his show a couple times back in the day, and he was, he's not analytics friendly. Let's just put it that way. But we've never been adversarial, I would say.
You are now.
I don't know if we are now. I just think, what's funny about Doug is I'm a kind of a connoisseur of coaching press conferences, and I wish there was a way we could use AI or something to measure how long coaches talk in their press conferences, because most coaches are they want to get out of there, right? You ask a few questions, they don't have any use for the media really. They'll give a few answers and get out. But Doug will go on and on and on. And I guess what was funny about that moment was the question was something completely irrelevant to me, but he knew how to get attention. And the guy who tweeted that out was some local Fox reporter or something, and the guy has 500 followers, and all of his tweets get 300 views or 400 views, and that tweet, when he tweeted out the video, got 400,000 views.
That's because you're you.
Yeah.
I mean, it is to some extent. It's also because Doug, he knows what he's doing, and whatever. If he's got to throw me under the bus, he can. I think in the end, my reputation will be okay, and people will still, make fun of Doug for various indiscretions when he was younger.
Well, I emailed the athletic director just in support of you to let him know that's unacceptable.
Thanks so much, PK. I appreciate that.
I'm curious right now, and there's still 4 weeks of basketball and conference tournaments to go. If you pick the tournament right now, how much change is there really? How much of this is already known as far as who's in and who's out? Because I'm looking at a team like BYU, losers of 4 in a row, 5 out of 6. Can somebody like that really play themselves out of the tournament?
I mean, they could if they wanted to. If they don't win another game, they won't be in the tournament. So they're not, they're not a lock at this point. I think that's when you look at these bracketologists and they talk about locks. It's what if you lost all of your games? And BYU lost all of their games. I think they would be out. But despite the fact that they're, in a bit of a swoon, they're still a decent team, and there are wins coming up for them. They're dealing with life in the Big 12, and every game is difficult. So every game is a potential, especially on the road. Every game is a potential loss. But it would be pretty stunning if they lost the rest of their games. I don't really foresee that happening.
Yeah, I agree. The losses to the ranked teams, great teams, most of them, if not all of them, close games. I guess the Texas Tech one got a little bit away, but they did lead. But then you got an Oklahoma State loss. How much does the losses versus an Arizona and a Houston weigh compared to a loss against an Oklahoma State team? You see where I'm going there?
Yes, I see exactly where you're going. And, the losses to the top teams are, they're just really missed opportunities to improve your position, more or less. The loss to Oklahoma State, I mean, that's the thing, so Oklahoma State turns around and they can barely put the ball in the basket against Arizona.
Yeah.
And so, I think that compounds the reputation of losing to them, I guess. You feel wow, it's a really bad loss. And it is a bad loss. If you're trying to be a top 4 seed, which I think BYU, certainly on a good night, is capable of, that is a bad loss. But it's also probably going to end up as a quad 1 win because it was on the road, and Oklahoma State should finish in the top 75 in the net. So in that sense, it's obviously not a loss on the same scale of Arizona or Kansas, but it's not like it's some terrible loss that completely damages the reputation, which is, the whole benefit of playing in a league like the Big 12 is that, if you just go 500 in league, like you're going to be easily in the NCAA tournament.
NCAA selection committee, and it's probably been might even be a decade now. They used to say, how did you play in the last 10 games? It was definitely weighted. Is that all just subconscious now as far as that? Does a game now matter as much as a game in November, no matter what you do in the non-conference? And we always urge these teams to play more big games, and some do, but most don't. How important are the games now, and how weighted are they, either consciously or subconsciously?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be on the team sheet last 10 games. I think one year they might have even done last 12. And eventually people realize the flaw in that. There was no context for schedule. So if you're a team from a weaker league, Gonzaga is always going to enter the tournament with a very nice last 10 record. They might have one loss, maybe two in a really bad year, but a lot of years they're going to have zero. And that's obviously not feasible for a team in the middle of a power league. So that was the reason they wisely got rid of it. But yeah, I suspect it's still to some extent a factor for some of the committee members. I mean, that's the whole thing about the whole selection process. It's always been so weird to me is that, every year, I mean, it's just, it's 10 people on the committee, and they kind of have some guidelines, but there's nothing real firm there, and they can all kind of use whatever process they want internally. And so every year that collective process among these 10 people is going to be slightly different from year to year. And so, yeah, I don't know, we can only guess how much how much recency plays into things. But yeah, you have to imagine, at least on a subconscious level, a team, there's two teams that are close, a team coming in cold versus a team coming in hot. The hot team will probably get the benefit of the doubt.
Your name is out there, right? And it's universally used now, for better or worse. and it's going to be that way every year. You could walk down any street in the country, nobody would know who you are. But if you carried a sign that says I'm KenPom.com, I mean, everybody would know you, right? At least the ones who are interested in basketball. So I'm wondering, has the NCAA ever approached you about being on this committee to help with these seeds?
They have not.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Doug Gottlieb talked to them or something.
That's what I was debating whether or not to bring that back up. It's Doug Gottlieb. He's barring the door.
He's the puppet master behind all of this.
I mean, you got all this stuff out there, and they use it. So why wouldn't they just use you instead of having middle people?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't. My only real formal dealings with the NCAA were 10 years ago, and they brought me and a few other these analytics people in to kind of discuss how to move away from the RPI. And it was a fairly productive meeting, and I really didn't hear much in the NCAA since then, and really haven't heard much from them since then. The last 10 years, but one day, 2 years after that, I get a call from a reporter, and they're like, "Yeah, the NCAA is going to release this, new thing called the net. Have you heard anything about it?" I was like, "No, for a single thing." And it turns out the net is very similar to my rating. So,
so they just copied it.
It's very, very close. So maybe Doug Gottlieb should be talking about the net and not KenPom.com. But whatever, I appreciate the publicity.
We heard and we've seen Kevin Young at BYU. His first year they only played one, maybe two good non-conference games, and then they had a problem at the start of conference, and it was because they hadn't seen the team against good competition. So year two, he tweaks it, and they played 6 or 7 really good games. But I still heard him say, I don't know what we're getting out of these quad 4 games. And so it sounds like he's toying with the idea of getting rid of some more of these gimmies. What is the value to either you or the Nets? Since apparently they're so similar. And what's the value in the selection committee in helping helping these schools, BYU included, going forward. I mean, if BYU were to go to find people that actually play home and home and go to the Marriott Center, and Utah State would probably do that. I mean, Utah State's quad 1 this year. Another year they might be quad 2. Is there value in that? You might lose when you go there, but how much is that going to hurt you versus playing a quad 4 team?
Yeah, I mean, so my ratings are designed to just evaluate how you play on a particular night. And the games against better competition, like if you're a good team like BYU, like basically games on your level are more important in my ratings than, playing a team ranked in the 200s or 300s. But the games ranked in the 200s or 300s still do matter. There still is some signal there determining how good a team is. However, those games they're pretty worthless when it comes to getting into the tournament or your seeding, unless you lose them. So that's really the crux of the issue. I mean, you look back like 25 years ago, and there were some teams like Lute Olson in particular was a guy who, you look at the schedules that he played, they were ridiculous. Like every single game there were no bye games on there. Every single game was a good team. He might slip in a weaker team or two on there, but they weren't, bottom 100 in the NCAA. They were 130th or something. They were still a decent team. And, those days are obviously long gone. I mean, I would love to see Kevin Young tee up a schedule like that, because I do think ultimately, the quad 4 games are pretty worthless. I mean, they pad your record, and if you're a coach whose seat is getting a little warm, that they might have some value in that respect. But I think for preparing your team for the season, playing better competition is, for the most part, it doesn't have any downside. Maybe at some point you just feel like, you're getting beaten up too much or whatever, and you do need a break, and so that's why you schedule a couple of those weaker teams. But as a fan, I would love to see Kevin Young get serious about that. However, I'm quite skeptical based on the fact that, you look at however many power conference teams we have now, 90 or so, no coach does that, and no coach has done that for a long time.
What seed do you think the Aggies will get?
This is a good question, PK. I mean, man, they're playing well. Obviously a lot is going to depend on the finish, because there's all sorts of landmines, but they have skillfully negotiated most of those landmines so far. I mean, had a bit of a struggle with my beloved Wyoming Cowboys the other night, but still managed to pull it out. So, I don't know. I mean, I think the upside is, probably like a 5. They finish strong and win the Mountain West outright. I think that's a reasonable goal. Obviously, there's downside as well, just like we discussed with BYU. If you really want to concoct a nightmarish finish, they could be out of the tournament. But I mean, I really like this Utah State team. It's maybe the best team we've seen here in this run over the past decade. So
I think so, and I think Calhoun might be the best coach that they've had too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to him in the offseason. Not that we need to discuss those things right now, but he will be in demand.
If I said the Big 12 was going to get 7 teams in and the Mountain West was going to get 2, would you buy that, or would you move those numbers?
How much did you say for the Big 12?
7.
Yeah, I might take the over on that.
Okay.
Just, so many quality wins we shared among those mid-level teams that I think we could end up with 8 or 9. I think you're on point with the Mountain West. It's probably Utah State and San Diego State getting those bids, but I could see maybe 1 or 2 more for the Big 12.
I don't know if you've studied this, but there's a perception out there that because of the no Sunday play, that BYU always gets knocked down a level. And, if they're struggling to get in, then and say the top 4 is gone, maybe 5 or 6, and then if they get knocked down, then you got maybe a 7 or 8. Do you buy that theory that they are underseeded, and sometimes, if not always, it's because of the no Sunday thing, and they figure, well, okay, we'll let you in, but we're going to penalize you in a sense.
Yeah, I don't think they're out to penalize BYU. There are challenges in building the bracket, and when you're, only available for half of the bracket, any path that avoids a Sunday, then that creates some challenges, and perhaps the committee errs on the side of underseeding him in those cases. But I don't know. I think. Anytime, I think to bring this back is they used to have the mock draft selection. And I think Scotty went to it one year, and everybody that goes to it just says we don't have time to the bracket's so complicated. We can't worry about matchups or where to avoiding storylines and things like that. So I have a hard time believing that there's any effect there. I do remember the time they got into the first four, and the first fours were the 14 seed or whatever for some reason. Was BYU a 14 seed, and they played Iona that one year in the first four. And that, every single year since then and before, the first four of the seeds are always 11s, but that year they were a 14, I think, for that reason you mentioned. But that's the only time that I can really remember that happening.
But that was in the WCC days. I routinely, and PK and I were just talking about this, we routinely thought BYU got underseeded. But since then, there's been so much conference realignment, BYU included. The leagues have gotten so big. Some of those things they used to have to observe about, teams in the same conference couldn't play until the Elite Eight or something. Didn't they lighten up a lot of those rules? Isn't there more flexibility now than there was 10 or 15 years ago?
Yeah, way more, yeah. So now teams from the same conference, I believe, can meet in the second round if they've only played once. Yeah. And they can meet in the Sweet 16 if they played twice. So, they had to do that otherwise.
Because the leagues got so big, yeah.
Well, yeah, you get SEC, gets 14 teams in last year. And it's how do you keep those teams from
playing?
Obviously impossible from playing for the Elite Eight, but certainly even in the round of 32, you got to have some exceptions for that. So, yeah, they made that change 4 or 5 years ago.
All right, Ken. Well, we kind of sort of like you, even if you have your detractors.
Stay out of the news. My gosh.
Yeah. You and your clickbait. Come on, Ken.
I don't know. There's a part of me, some people come up to me when that happens, and they're Doug's being so mean to you. And I don't know. I guess I would just every year there's one of these rants by some random coach, and I kind of enjoy it at this point. There's the alternative is nobody talks about you.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. I badmouth you to my friends all the time.
That's why I love you, PK.
Well, Ken, we love having you come on the show. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you again in a little while.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Ken Pomeroy, KenPom.com. Right now he's got BYU at 22, Utah State at 26. And a former BYU coach. Now at Kentucky, just can't escape St. Mary's. Kentucky at 31, St. Mary's at 32. The irony. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Stay with us.
Love is in the air, and the Zone is ready to help you become a Valentine's Day MVP. Listen to 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, and online at KSLSports.com for your chance to win 2 Grande Minky Couture blankets. Keep it locked on the KSL Sports Zone and be Valentine's MVP. Presented by Minky Couture on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Actually get a BYU-Utah doubleheader on ESPN2, 5 o'clock for BYU and Baylor, and then Houston and Utah at 7 o'clock. So you can settle down and watch your hoops tonight. You have your doubts, you have your questions about BYU now. But did you like what you hear in the press conference yesterday?
Yeah, I think Kevin Young always does a good interview.
Yeah.
And I think he's honest.
I was talking the basketball strategy as far as DeBonsa. They got to rebound better.
Right. And he's the guy.
And they don't have that many guys.
Start with him.
They don't have that many guys who can do it. Cade is already in there. So he's got the size, he's got the length. And you look back when they did.
Are so long.
When they did win big games, 6 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds. In the 5 losses that they've suffered here in these last 6 games, he's averaged 4 rebounds. You got to get back in the mix. They need those 5 possessions.
Yeah, you can't give up 17 second chance points.
No.
They corrected the turnovers. So I do think they have room, obviously, to get better, and I do think that will happen.
All right, tonight, 5 o'clock, we'll see if BYU can snap that 4-game losing streak. We got a poll question up on Twitter. You can vote. Who you got? Does the streak end in Waco? Or nope, it's going to be 5 in a row. Go to David DJ James on Twitter and you can vote. John from J. Brooks Jewelers is here talking Valentine's Day. The grand slam of love. You got to get Christmas right. Got to get Valentine's Day right. And also you got a birthday and an anniversary in there. There it is. There's 4 things. Got to be good. Got to bring the A game. Got to impress. Got to deliver results. And you are here to deliver on multiple fronts. Chocolate, flowers, jewelry.
Well, we do try to make it easy as possible for you, a little bit easier than the Cougars are suffering right this minute. But we do make it as easy as we possibly can on everyone, men and women, to shopping for the holiday. As I've said many times, we think that Valentine's is the most important holiday just in terms of getting it right for your sweetheart, something that they would know. My wife reminded me last night myself about how many great Valentines we had done and all the gifts that we had come up with. And it just was interesting to me that she was so remembering all these fun things that we had done. So I think it's really a great holiday to remind your sweetheart that she is the most important thing to you. And at J. Brooks, and our collection that we have created is really done by a group of all women who really understand what other women want. And so when you come into the store and work with one of our stylists, you'll see right away that they're really intended on trying to understand your sweetheart, what they would like, and to be able to create a collection of fun, beautiful things that they can have. So whether you want to do something really fantastic for an occasion or something more simple, we have something kind of every budget, every kind of look that works for you, for your budget, and most importantly, for your sweetheart's taste. If for some reason ever we don't get it perfect, of course, they're welcome to come in and exchange and do that and make it just the way they want it to. And then we get acquainted with them. And like other professionals in your life, when you come, they kind of know who you are and what you're after. Our stylist will set it up for you, a little wish list that we call it, where you can have these series of things that she might like. So when you come, you don't have to make any mistakes because she's already picked it out, put her finger on it. So we think those are really fun things that make it easy. Both stores are just loaded with beautiful merchandise and really a wonderful group of ladies who will help you down the process to make it just as simple as possible. And when we're finished, of course, beautiful chocolates from Mrs. Kavanaugh's here and made right here by hand, right here in Salt Lake City. A dozen roses of your color, multiple colors and choices. And then, of course, we gift wrap in a beautiful collection box to make when she opens it, just really, when they see one of our boxes, the girls know this is going to be good.
Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. J. Brooks Jewelers. Stop by in Murray or Lehigh. And right now, you can start shopping online, start looking stuff over. Go to jbrooksjewelers.com. Thanks, John.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.